All right, good afternoon. As everyone here knows, camp started 49 years ago this summer. I started it for one specific reason at that time, to try to get the children who were in my clinic in Fall River, Mass, away from their parents for at least 1 week, because these parents had never had a time to themselves since the child was born. At that time, nothing was being done for cerebral palsy people. They didn't know enough about it to do anything about it. So all descended upon the parents. And I could see that the mothers were really worn out looking after these youngsters. So the first thing was to get somewhere to take these children. And that summer I was on Oak Bluffs Beach with my own children, my 3 children. They were running around in the water. And I just sat on the beach and I thought, what an excellent place this island would be for a camp for the handicapped. So when I got back to Fall River, I suggested it to the medical people, and they said, oh, no, we don't know enough yet to have these children go to a camp. Do you mean a day camp? I said, no, a residential camp, so that the parents will have a rest. I said, it may be only a week, but it will be worth its weight in gold. Well, I'm sorry, we don't agree. So I said, that's perfectly all right. So I did it anyhow. Back to Martha's Vineyard. I found a little cottage in the tabernacle grounds. It was very small, didn't have any hot water, no shower or bath, but that was all right. We used to go in the water. And very little to eat. There was an old oil stove there, which I never could work, but we managed. No one needed to gain weight. Matter of fact, few of the children needed to lose weight, as I did myself. So that was all right. So we got this little cottage, and then I thought, well, I have to have at least one counselor. There are 35 children to deal with, so we'll take 5 or 6 every week. And we'll come from New Bedford to Oak Bluffs. We'll push the children in their wheelchairs up to the little cottage, not too far away. Sounds pretty good. So I picked out this one counselor who had been terrific in the clinic and asked her if she would like to go with me. I said, there won't be any money in it. It's absolutely voluntary. I don't know where we're even going to get the money to buy food, but that's all right. Will you go with me? She said, I'd love to. So that's fine. Now I had a cottage. I had Ursula. I didn't have any money. None. At that time, I hadn't been in this country very long, and England wouldn't send me any money out because it was right after the war, 1950. Couldn't borrow any money, but the War Tupper Foundation in Fall River gave me $150. And I thought, this is great. We'll manage on the month for food with this, and I'll pay for the rental of the cottage later. Fine. We got through that first summer very well. No one was ill. We had the changeover of the children coming every week. Ursula and I would take the 6 back and pick 6 more up. The 2 eldest ones rather looked after themselves. So we had help there. If you called to one of them and asked them to push a chair, they would push the chair, and so forth. It was very successful, and I decided I'd try again. So I wrote to the Vineyard Gazette and asked if anyone had a cottage, clubhouse, anything it would do to house these children for 1 month. And almost immediately, a letter came from the 4-H Club of Martha's Vineyard and said they had a Quonset hut and if it would be of any use to us, by all means, we could have it. So Ursula and I took the next boat over and was met at Vineyard Haven, president of the 4-H Club of Martha's Vineyard, a Mr. Peter Pinney. And he took us to the 4-H clubhouse, which was a Quonset hut. Anyhow, there's a basement under the Quonset hut, with cooking facilities and whatnot down there. Looked fine. This was excellent, much greater improvement of what we'd had the previous year. Upstairs there was a shower, hot and cold water, cooking utensils and facilities and whatnot. And I said, well, this would be fine. How much do you want for a month? Nothing. Say that again? Peter Binney said, nothing. Whatever anyone else says, it is nothing. I said, fine, this will do. Well, those people were such a help to us. They sent people to act as volunteers. They sent food. One particular day, this woman had to come with dessert for supper. And it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon and dessert hadn't arrived. I said, well, that doesn't matter. We can manage without dessert. And by, this elderly woman was racing into the Quonset hut and said, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm late. But I had to take my husband to the hospital. He had a heart attack. So you see, we came first. All right. Then the second year, the third year came on and so forth, and the camp was growing. I said, we can't stay here anymore. In the first place, the Quonset hut was right on the main road on New York Avenue. We can't stay here. We'll have to move. So I invited Peter Pinney, this very, very fine man who let us have the Quonset hut free, to be president of our board. And that was the best thing I ever did, because he said at the meeting once, don't argue with Helen Lamb anymore. She's going to get what she wants anyhow. So just let her have it. And this was very nice. I thought, yes, I've got the right man here. So there was a garden party somewhere, and we met this man who was the minister at Grace Church here. And he became very, very interested in the camp and said, I think I can get you land right down there close to Tashmoo. And I said, well, don't want to be too close to the water. That's too dangerous, because these children will get up in the middle of the night and just walk off and we won't be able to find them. He said, no, I think I know what we'll give you. So he brought me over here to this, and they gave us 6 or 8 acres of this land. And I think now we have something like 10 or 12 acres, if not more. Camp opened here 33 or 34 years ago. Can anyone beat that?